All right. So, got major arcana on top of major arcana. So, underlying energy is the world, right? So, definitely a success, a completion of a cycle, moving forward. Um, it's a successful completion because you've gone through something, you've did the hard work in a situation or for a situation um, in your life that inspired growth. This is your like your next step. Your next step in life is pending, if that makes sense. Like you're starting something completely new. Um, well, you have the new beginning here is coming. Wow, and it was definitely fought for. I think you guys really put in the work, really put in the time. Some of you guys definitely had to compromise, and it may have developed kind of like a win-lose sort of situation, which I could kind of see because it kind of looks like somebody's happy with the change, but then at the same time they're not. Because the Five of Swords can indicate this person may have had to compromise a certain belief, a certain perspective, and that compromising definitely got them to this, to a place where they are starting something brand new, right? Or they're about to, all right? They've completed the cycle, but everything else that I'm seeing here, healing family issues, so I think there's literal family issues that are coming up right now for some of you guys. You guys are dealing with parents and cousins and uncles right now that are, that may need time to work through things rather. But this also kind of gives me the impression that this is more about intimacy and intimate relationships with people. Period. Right? Healing healing or forgiving your parents doesn't necessarily mean actually forgiving parents here. It could just talk about forgiving, you know, either your past life self or yourself from a situation prior to this one, right? Whatever drudged up an old issue, whatever brought something to light, whatever whatever's missing here, forgiving yourself and forgiving the other person, and forgiving especially even your parents in regards to moving forward and seeing things through, right? To get progress finally. Now, two cards we're going to start out with is the ones at the very top. They signify the mental space. This is how both of you come in thinking of the relationship. This is what you guys think of the relationship. Now, feel free to switch from this side to the other because typically Libra, I do read this side here as you guys by default. And feel free to, like I said, to swap over to this side here if it doesn't resonate. But starting with you, Libra, or the other person, depending on how you guys decide which side resonates with you, you guys have the Nine of Pentacles here. So you guys are definitely kind of comfortable, right? I think you guys are, this relationship does provide a lot of stability, a lot of security, a lot of comfort. But the thing that I'm recognizing the most here is that you guys feel very alone. You guys feel by yourselves. You guys feel, you also feel possibly even bored here. And it may be because I think, of course, you're aware of your independence and what you're able to do, but it almost looks like you kind of, you just feel like you're by yourself. You have a relationship that gives you everything that you've ever wanted, but you don't have the emotional connection. That's what I'm getting here with this. Now, the other person here is stressing the hell out, right? They've got so much stress. It's crazy. They're stressing out, not able to sleep, not able to really think about doing anything other than focusing on the stress. They're focusing on what's wrong. Their mind is not even focusing on what's wrong. Their mind has completely gone to the doubt zone. And the doubt zone is one of those nets, those spider webs that you can get caught up in, and you find yourself really hard to detangle yourself out of and convince yourself that you're thinking of the problem, and in actuality, you're just in a different mindset, freaking out about a situation. So this person here with the Nine of Swords is stressed out. And this could explain why this person, why you, Libra, may be feeling very alone in the relationship, because the person is not necessarily plugged in. They're actually like freaking out. Now, looking at this, they have justice coming up here, right? The justice card, I feel like this person is definitely taking a lot of accountability for their actions, a lot of accountability for the other person's actions. And I feel like they're stressing out probably because they do need to work out some sort of balance between you and them. At the same time, it could be that this person is stressed out about marriage, or, about getting divorced. This person could be getting divorced from somebody, and it could be hard, right? It could be very hard and really difficult to do. At the same time, this could be you and this person, separating here, because you do have the King of Swords. But I don't think that's really the case. I feel like this is really. I feel like there's some sort of dynamic that it needs to be balanced out for this person, and it's not right now. I think there's some things that are just not not in a sense, stable. So they're kind of freaking out because there's no stability here. And you're going through the same sort of similar situation, because how you're presenting yourself is the Five of Cups. So you're looking at all the things that you don't have. You're looking at all the situations that have gone wrong. You're looking at everything that's missing in the situation. And instead of kind of, shifting your focus to other things, right? The shifting your focus back to the relationship, it's really a constant reminder. Like there's a constant glaring at this loss. Right? And I feel like probably this person wants forgiveness for whatever they've done, right? Whatever this situation was. Maybe they don't feel like, maybe you don't feel like they support you, or you're not emotionally plugged in. You feel like you're missing that, and this person is trying to make up for it, but they're so stressed out that they're not really able to really give all of their 100%, because their 100% is working on trying to make themselves unstressed, de-stressed. So it makes sense why this person, you're focusing on what is not there. This person is trying to gain a balance in their life so they can no longer feel this unstable. Because of course, getting the control back in your love life, in the balance going, and the flow and the passion and the success and the happiness going, that is going to require a lot of effort between the both of you. But right now, what brought you two together was the Hermit. And it's honestly, it's weird. It's like you guys came together during a time of personal exploration. Like you guys actually didn't really see each other until now. Like you guys came in, both independent, or both, healing yourselves. And it's a crazy thing. But I feel like you guys both just didn't really quite see each other until now, because you guys were still going through some things on your own personal time, but you guys were overcoming in your own way. Okay. So, the Hermit can also indicate a time of separation. Taking some time out to look within the self, to reflect. It's healing the inner child, healing parental issues or family issues here. Like you're taking what brought you two together was your introspection, was recognizing who you were, what you're capable of, and what you wanted. Right? And having, you had confidence in yourself, and now it's about creating a balance that does flow, because right now everything's out of balance, everything is out of whack. Now, the reason why this person is looking at the Five of Cups, or the reason why they have the Five of Cups as their presentation, or how people can see them, their physical plane, right? Because this is how you see that yourself, and this is how other people see you. Same here with the other person. This card here, these two cards indicate the spiritual plane. These cards, they indicate the spiritual plane. They give us a bit of background as to why you're presenting yourself the way you are and thinking the way you do. And it all starts with the King of Swords. Right? Like the King of Swords is someone that can be pretty darn brutal. But he doesn't have to be. That's a skill set. He's very good at conveying his message without being aggressive. But the thing is, he's very detached though too. He doesn't look at his emotions every day. He doesn't let his emotions dictate his decision making. The second he starts to even think about getting angry, he won't do anything. He won't make a decision. He has to be in a cool, calm, collected state where his mind can totally, run through possibilities and options. All right, he's a logical individual, the King of Swords. Now, at the same time, Libra, this could be that you have either you're in need, or you're wanting to master this energy. You master your own energy of being, diplomatic and communicate, but also be firm and back up yourself when you need something. Because I feel like for some of you guys, you may feel like you need something, and it's hard to kind of convey that message when everything, that when all the attention is focused on the loss or what's not there in the relationship right now. And I think both parties are really doing that, right? Because the Justice card talks about there being a balance needed. Right? Somebody needs to be taking accountability. Someone needs to forgive a situation or to apologize for a situation, but make amends to something so there can be a balance again, so things can be restored. And I feel like this is the same difference, because this person is looking at what's lost when they have the 2 cups there. There is something they can still work with, even though this is gone. And I feel like what's needed here is because I think the reason why this has all come up, because this is really influencing this person to communicate better, communicate, in a way that gets their message clearly through, to see something from a different perspective, to open their minds up, to be the master negotiator, I feel. Because where this person is right now, they're not feeling the love. And it's definitely showing here with the King of Swords. Now with this other person here, they have the Justice card and the Nine of Swords. And the reason why they have these 2 here is because of the 8 of Cups. The reason why this person is so stressed out and they need a balance is because they're emotionally finished with the situation. They're emotionally finished, and they have to go find what they truly want. They have to go find what makes them happy. I think they're done with settling for less. They're done with dealing with things that don't actually make them happy. They're ready to go out and find what makes them happy. They're ready to explore themselves, to figure out what will make them tick. Right? Because I think this is a constant state for them, for being stressed out. They're constantly stressed out. They're constantly trying to balance the situation out. You know what I mean? And it kind of looks like this person is emotionally done with the situation. They're done with not really getting peace or getting content, being content. They're looking at what makes them happy. Such an interesting card to get here as a way to explain as to why this person is stressed out, injustice, and wanting balance in the situation. And it could be that this person has gone through something that they have to kind of, they don't have to do anything, but it's more like this person may have experienced someone that was emotionally done with the situation, and they've gone, they've left. Somebody has actually left with the Hermit like that. And in order for things to push forward, there's going to need a balance here. But the thing is, I feel like, they don't, I don't think they want to be in a situation where they're burnt out and they can't give anything. I think they're upset because there's nothing that they can give at this moment. And they're stressing out and they're causing the situation to become worse, because instead of figuring out a solution, they're just looking at what they can't give. What they no longer can put in. And I don't think this person is completely, is like depleted from emotion, and they can't give back to this relationship. They don't even want to move it forward. I think they're just so, they're so doubtful of their own capabilities that they kind of tie themselves in a knot to where they can't give. They can't take either. They're in a box of their own, and they can't break free. And as much as you would like to help them, it looks like you're stuck too. Looking at what you don't have with them, or what you would love with them, right? Or what you have had and it's gone. But I think that's why the communication is coming up here. The King of Swords. It's good. You may have to cut through the crazy, so you can be clear and to be open and to provide clarity for the other person. I think the forgiveness part is to let go of what was lost, what is no longer there, and aspire to create a better so create something better with what you have, with this relationship, with this connection that you have. Because there is potential for there to be goodness, to be great. This is a 5. This is not the end all be all. This is just the beginning. This is the change that's initiated, and really starts to kick off here. But the emotional shift is what's needed. Allowing this to pass through you and go through and forgive. Forgive the situation for whatever happened here, right? So you can so you can work on a solution. Because everybody's here is focusing on what's wrong. There's a lot of shit that's wrong. But in order for there to be anything better, there has to be solutions. There has to be ways to solve the problem. And that does come from you having to communicate. All right, that's the best thing I can definitely say in regards to this reading. There's going to need to be a conversation. And a conversation of compassion and not aggression. Because like I said, the King of Swords can be rough, but he knows when to and he knows when not to. Oof, excuse me. And the Justice card is the card for Libra here. So Libra, this could be your side here, and you be the one that's stressed out, trying to keep the balance here. Or you're showing that you're, balancing a situation as much as you can, but you're stressed out because there's nothing more you can give to a situation. And while this person is kind of being taken care of, they're looking at things that they don't have, because honestly, either they know their truth, they know what they're capable of, or there's something here that they honestly need to clarify for themselves. I think this person's aware of their individuality. It's just like, what is needed from this individual? I don't understand. Time to ground, though. Okay, weird. Alright, but I'm going to clarify the King of Swords. Why is the King of Swords coming up in the spiritual energy? Why? Here's the Ten of Cups. Yeah, it's about completing a cycle. It's not detaching from the situation completely. I feel like it's more of seeing what one wants, knowing, being aware and being clear on what this person wants, to share the happiness with the person that they're with, to share the happiness with the people they love. But it starts by letting go of this Ten of Cups, whatever this emotional situation was. It's going to require forgiveness here for you to be set free and to take what knowledge that you have about yourself and carry it through. But you have time to ground, and that's one of the cards that the Virgo got. They had two that just fell right out. And you guys have time to ground. And what time to ground is saying is this is not a stable time. This is actually it looks very chaotic and it looks kind of crazy. And it's, of course, is for our highest good, no matter what it is. But it's about taking the time now to find a way to stabilize, find a way to ground yourself during this changing sort of energy, during this adjustment, right? Because the world is talking about an ending of one cycle and the beginning of a new. It's a really weird off period of nothing happening, but at the same time, lots of things are happening. But you can bask in the happiness, or you can focus on what you need to do for later, which is honestly what it's looking like here. But there's a lot of looking back at the past to honestly encourage the freaking out of the future. So let's take a look, see at your, your wisdom of the Oracle card here. Okay, we all experience moments in our lives when we feel confused, unfocused, and surrounded by chaos and turmoil. These moments are often avoidable. These moments are often unavoidable, as are the lessons these moments can impart. But how you respond to them is a choice only you can make. Take a deep breath and a moment to pause and reconnect with Gaia and nature. Seek the silence of the void within, whilst your spirit spiral downward to anchor itself like an ancient tree root in the cleansing embrace of the earth beneath you. So right now, yeah, it's crazy, but the best thing right now is to forgive the situation, be aware of what you feel, right, of how you feel, and find other ways to overcome it. Because honestly, this here situation is not gonna go anywhere unless people find reasons or find it in themselves to forgive and move forward. Now, I don't think anybody's at a problem. I don't think anybody did anything wrong. I think this is the dynamic of the situation is off. The dynamic of the relationship is off. And what needs to be done is just like, hey, there's nothing here right now. But you can build it, you can create it, but you have to shift your focus away from what you don't have to what needs to be done to get that, right? That focus be back to love. Focus on what you guys feel. I can't, this person on the other side here, I don't really know what else to say to this individual because they're stressing themselves out. They're stressed out about the dynamic. They're stressed out about the balance. The only way that they can overcome this is by forgiving the fact that the situation is jacked up, and find a way to just to work through it. Because the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups rather, just doesn't accept this. It just goes on and finds what it needs to do. It finds finds its cup, right? They go out and they do their own thing by finding their own cup. It's the same situation. Not saying this person needs to break up. Not saying anybody needs to separate from the relationship. But more like this person has got to find a different way to accomplish what they want to accomplish.